Henry's how to is I'm going to show you how to make lamb kofta curry. Let's get straight into it.
Alright guys, so this is a nice, quick, straightforward recipe, perfect for a nice cold day like it is today. So just in a bowl here, I've got 500 grams of lamb mince. Now the first thing we're going to do is add a teaspoon of salt to this. Next we'll add half a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 crushed garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of ginger paste, half a teaspoon of ground coriander, and finally we'll just crack in 1 whole egg. And we're just going to give this a good mix together, get everything nicely combined. Now we don't want to over season our meatballs because we're going to be seasoning our actual sauce. So we don't want to overdo it. Alright, perfect. So you want it to be nice and pasty like that. So we'll just cover this in cling wrap. We want to place this into the fridge for about half an hour before we continue. Alright guys, so it's time to form these into meatballs, so take the cling wrap off. And I've just got a tray here that I've lined with some baking paper just to make it easy to work with. And I've also got a bowl of warm water here. That will be ideal because when the mince starts to stick to our fingers it gets hard to mold. So all we're going to do is make little meatballs about that size there. So smaller than a ping pong ball, a bit bigger than a marble. But I mean, of course you can make it whatever size you want, that's completely up to you. Obviously trying to make them all the same size, that way they'll all cook at the same time. Alright, so that's all of them done there, so let's move on to our stove now. Alright guys, so just into a pan on a medium to high heat, we'll add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. So guys, once the oil heats up, we're going to slowly start adding our meatballs in. And you want to hear that sizzle straight away. So guys, all we're doing at this point is sealing and browning them. We're not actually cooking them. So just want to cook for a little bit on each side until they're nice and brown. So this gives it a nicer colour when we add it into our sauce. If we just add it in raw, it's just going to be like boiled. We don't want that. So this whole process should only take about 2 minutes. Alright, that's looking pretty good, nice and brown all over, so we'll turn the heat off at this point. And we just want to let these cool down. Alright, next we'll just grab ourselves 1 brown onion, and guys, all we want to do with our onion is just finely dice it. So let's go back to our stove. Alright guys, so just into a small pot on a medium heat, we'll add about 3 tablespoons of oil. And the first thing we'll do is add our onions straight in. And we just want to cook our onions until they're browned and softened. Alright guys, once your onions are softened, we're going to add in about 2 crushed garlic cloves and 1 teaspoon of ginger paste. We'll just want to mix those through as well. Get everything nice and fragrant. So at this point I'm going to add in about 2 cups of passata, or tomato puree, whatever you want to call it. Definitely not ketchup though. And I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, a quarter teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can add a bit more if you want a bit more of a kick. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and finally 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika. So let's just mix everything through. That truly smells amazing. So I'm just going to top this off with 1 cup of cold water. We'll turn up the heat. And we want to add our meatballs in. And I'm also going to add in 3 bay leaves. Alright guys, so once you got a boil going, put the lid on, lower the heat to low to medium. And all we're going to do is just gently let this simmer. Now, it will take only about, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Basically, we want the meatballs to cook all the way through. Alright, I'm just at the 12-minute mark now, guys. And just have a look at that. So our meatballs are nice and firm. So at this point we can start to call it kofta. And our sauce is thickened up nicely as well. So guys, at this point I'm just going to go ahead and turn the heat off. Now, as for serving, I'm going to keep it as is with the sauce. But what you can do is add, say, a quarter cup of coconut cream or regular cream into it. It'll give it a creamy finish and obviously change the colour a bit. But I prefer the rich tomato sauce in this. So we'll serve it as is. So let's go ahead and serve it. So we'll just go ahead and place it up nicely. And of course we'll add some extra sauce on top, but not too much. Because we want to make sure our kofta stands out. So all we're going to do is finish it off with some freshly chopped coriander. And that's all there is to it. Ready to go with some rice, papadums, whatever you want on the side. Or of course just on its own.
Okay guys, now it's my take on lamb kofta curry. Now this is one of those recipes where you know it's going to taste good before you even try it. But of course, I'm sure you guys want proof. Like the meatballs are actually so soft, but that sauce is absolutely amazing. So it's not too hot, it's got a little bit of a kick, but you can really feel those spices. And on a cold rainy day like today, it's absolutely perfect. So, okay, so I'm just serving it on its own, but you can put some papadums on the side, some naan bread, some rice, but kofta on its own is always amazing. I hope you like that guys, please like, share and subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram and TikTok. If you've got any comments or suggestions, just leave them at the bottom, and I'll see you all next time.